Stop right there. Stop right there. I do not even have no words. Do with that information as you will. Wow, these people were hoes back then. We did not need to know that. We're left alone with our thoughts. The utmost dangerous prison to be in. God knew what he was doing and was cooking up, wasn't he? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back again. So, quick question. What are some weird facts that we actually don't know? Well, I guess we're about to find out. And to my subscribers, appreciate every single one of y'all. All right, let's get into this.
That will make people say, why do you know that? If you spill bleach on your skin, the slippery feeling you feel when you wash it off is because you have basically made soap by dissolving the top layer of skin. There is a certain amount of body fat that it takes to stop a bullet, and it's about 60 centimeters of body fat. Human meat is very similar to pork. Coca-Cola.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Human meat is equivalent to pork. Oh. I don't think I should say anything.
Can help with blood stains. If provided with a mirror, dolphins will admire their own genitals. Weird facts that will make people
Come
say, why do
Hey, do you want to hear a gross fact about your body? Well, too bad, I'm gonna tell you anyways. So a lot of y'all swear that you don't fart, which is actually not true because everyone farts and everyone produces gas. Now let's say hypothetically you don't actually fart because you hold in your farts and you don't let them out. Well, what happens to all of that gas that gets produced in your body that's in your butt? Well, for starters, because it's just gas that's in your body that you're not letting out, it's gonna get reabsorbed through your intestines into your bloodstream. Now, once it's in your bloodstream, it's going to circulate throughout your blood, throughout your body, and it's eventually going to reach your lungs, where it's going to go through the actual blood vessels into your lungs. Now, this is kind of the gross part. Once it gets to your lungs, you're actually going to breathe it out. Yes, for all you ladies who say that you don't fart, it's going to come out one way, so now you know.
You should have this saying in my country, Jamaica, man. Let fart be free. Because it's what killed Mary Lee. Let your fart be free, man. Put no shame in it, because it can actually kill your ass. Put no pride in that, man. Lift that leg up. Let it out. Shit.
Hey, do you want to hear a gross fact about your body?
Weird facts about history. Napoleon's wife had a friend who was known as government property because she had banged so many ministers of state. Machiavelli wrote a letter to his friend about how he slept with a prostitute, then threw up all over her when the lights came on because she was so ugly. Julie d'Aubigny was a famous 17th century French opera singer who once took the holy vows to enter a convent just so she could sleep with a nun. She also had a habit of seducing women at parties which would lead their husbands to challenge her to a duel. She was an expert duelist and killed a few men like this. Victor Hugo, the romantic writer, slept with so many prostitutes that on the day he died, all the brothels in Paris were closed because so many of the prostitutes took the day off to mourn him. Weird facts about history.
That caught me way by surprise. I don't have no words. I do not even have no words. Do with that information as you will. Wow, these people were hoes back then. Are we talking about 2026?
Napoleon's wife had a friend who was
These are 10 weird things you didn't know about Socrates. Firstly, he was considered extremely annoying, known to constantly walk around public and approaching random people in the street and intensely questioning their knowledge, often exposing them for being wrong, which made many people in Athens hate him. Next, he would sometimes turn into a statue. It's reported Socrates would randomly freeze, standing in place for multiple hours, all throughout day and night just thinking, where crowds of people and even soldiers would form around him, simply watching. But he gets weirder. He was almost always barefoot, even in winter, wore the same basic clothes every day, and didn't care about money at all, often refusing to take payments and lived extremely cheap.
Oh, the original menace to society. Jesus.
not even working a job for the last 2 decades of his life, spending all of his time debating philosophy. And he doesn't stop there. He would publicly humiliate powerful politicians in debates so often that he began drawing in crowds and gaining tons of influence, becoming such a problem that he was eventually jailed and sentenced to execution for supposedly corrupting the youth. But the most insane is that Socrates could have escaped. Many friends and even corrupt insiders offered to help him escape the execution, but he refused because he believed escaping would go against all of his beliefs. And on the day of execution, he stayed completely calm, drinking the poison and discussed philosophy with his friends as it slowly paralyzed his body until he finally collapsed. These are 10
Weird Nature Facts, Part 25. Dolphins love interacting with pregnant women because they communicate using ultrasound. Not only can they hear the mother's heartbeat, but also the baby's, and they find this very fascinating. For more than 20 years, a dolphin named Pelorus Jack regularly guided ships through treacherous waters until his disappearance in 1912. A man from Argentina posted this photo of a giant mosquito called a galley-nipper that his mother killed in her home. While its bite can be very painful, it's not nearly as dangerous as the smaller mosquito, which can transmit yellow fever and Zika virus. Naka Cave in Thailand closely resembles a giant petrified snake. The average silverback gorilla is 4 to 9 times stronger than the average human male. They can deadlift 1,800 pounds and their grip can crush the skull of a crocodile. Weird Nature.
These are 10 weird things. These are 10 weird.
Weird fact of the
Really weird gay fact.
What is the weirdest fact?
You want to hear something?
If you were buried alive.
Weird ass facts that I know for some reason. Most Koreans have a genetic mutation called ABCC11, which makes their sweat odorless.
Hello, my friend. This is a slight correction. Koreans aren't the only ones with the ABCC11 gene. All humans have it. Aside from body odor, this gene is also associated with the texture of your earwax. Some people around the world actually lack a functioning ABCC11 gene. And that dysfunction is what causes people to have a lack of body odor and dry earwax. It's not exclusive to Koreans, it just happens to be more common among that population. This dysfunction is also quite common in other parts of East Asia, but it also exists around the world. Here's a study that shows exactly that. Populations in Africa and Europe seem to have a functioning ABCC11 gene, but it becomes less common in Asia.
Weird ass facts.
I understand we're in the weird fact section, but who really thinks of these things, man? But hey, that's a weird fact for y'all to know, man.
That I know for some reason.
Things I wish I'd never learned. Your bum hole has taste buds, which is why spicy food burns on the way out. Pigs aren't considered vegan because of the high number of dead wasps inside them. Tarantulas can swim in the water. When a woman is giving birth, her large intestines can slip out her bum hole. You'll spend about 5,000 hours of your life simply looking for misplaced items. CNN has a pre-recorded broadcast that they plan to air when the world is ending. Voice actor for Peter Pan was only 30 when he was found dead in an abandoned warehouse covered in beer bottles and religious pamphlets and was unidentified for days. Average pair of dirty underwear contains 1/10 of a gram of poop, and when you put it in the washing machine, it just slowly starts coating the inside of your washing machine. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're constantly swallowing snot, and by the end of the day, you've averaged about 1 or 2 cups of snot consumption. Nightmare.
We did not need to know that. Oh, shit.
Elm Street is based on a true story. Chickens we consume are often so overfed that by the time they're killed, they can't stand because their legs can't hold up their body. It's a phenomenon called ballooning where thousands of spiders will fall from the sky. Things I wish I...
Weird facts you know.
Hi, my name's Lee. I'm a scientist, and I'm here to spice up your future conversations with a weird fact about the universe. Okay, so under the scope of general relativity, there's an equation for something called the Schwarzschild radius, and it is meant to relate the mass of a black hole to how large it is. In this equation, they are mathematically directly proportional, so the more mass you put into a black hole, the larger it becomes. And so that radius actually expands, and that's the radius out to the event horizon of the black hole itself. Stick with me, this gets weird. Coincidentally, if you input the mass of our universe into this equation, you get a radius spit out that is eerily similar to the radius of our observable universe. So in this equation that is meant to quantify the characteristics of a black hole, you're actually getting characteristics that also quantify some of the metrics of our observable universe. Some people that believe in black hole cosmology use the Schwarzschild radius similarities to make a case for the fact that maybe our universe is contained within a black hole. It's all speculative, but also really fun to tell one of your next dates. Hi, my name's Leah.
I was trying to follow. I got so lost. So for all my what do you call it? My quantum physicists out there, or conspiracists. What was it? Conspiracy theorists? Or conspiracy theorists? Conspiracy theorists. Let me know what she's talking about down there in the comments, y'all.
I'm a scientist and I'm here to...
A single strand of your hair is strong enough to hold a tennis ball before breaking. But if you braid just half of your hair into a rope, its combined strength could support the weight of a large SUV. And if you use all of your hair, the rope could withstand approximately 15 metric tons. That's about the weight of a small private jet. Send this to someone with long hair.
10 weird things you didn't know about Donald Trump. First, Trump is overly obsessed with Diet Coke, reportedly having a special button on his desk that would bring him more anytime he wanted. Next, he is very particular about handshakes, often avoiding them or pulling people in a very unusual way. He also had a strong preference for fast food, even serving free McDonald's meals at the White House. Next, he barely sleeps, sometimes for just a few hours, believing that sleeping makes him lose time and productivity. He is also known for repeating certain words many times during public speeches for no specific reason. Along with that, he eats very quickly, often finishing meals in just a few minutes. And one time during a solar eclipse, he randomly decided to look directly at the sun without any protective glasses, completely ignoring all the risks. These are 10 weird things.
I don't know if you come up with these things, but it would be really interesting if all of these are actually real and they're actually funny. Some of them were real funny.
Things you didn't know about.
Weird facts about the human body that I didn't know. All right. Did you know that your eyes stay the same size from the time that you were a baby, but your ears and your nose keep growing? I definitely knew that one because have you ever seen them old pawpaws with the long ass ears and schnozzes? That's a real fact. Did you know that each foot has around 250,000 sweat glands? That is enough to produce half a liter of sweat every single day. That is disgusting. Your stomach regenerates its lining every 3 to 4 days so that it does not quite literally digest itself. If you stretched every vein, artery, and capillary out in your body, it is enough to stretch around the earth 2 times. That's a lot. Did you know that you have more bacteria in your body than you actually do human cells? That's disgusting. Did you know that around 60% of your DNA is actually shared with a banana, thanks to evolution? I did not. I didn't know that. Did you know that the hydrochloric acid that is found in your stomach is actually strong enough to dissolve metal? That's pretty potent. Did you know that your skeleton actually regenerates every 10 years? So you basically have all new bones every 10-ish years. How about the fact that the fingernails on your dominant hand grow faster than the fingernails on your non-dominant hand? Did you know that the left ventricle in your heart can actually shoot blood up to 30 feet? That's disgusting. Did you know that your mouth can actually produce 1 to 2 liters of saliva every single day? How about the fact that your leg muscles are actually strong enough to crush a human skull? Did you know that the human liver can actually regenerate itself from only 25%? That's pretty freaking cool. How about the fact that your small intestine is 22 feet long? I don't know where they wrap all that up in there, but 22-ish feet long. And that 1 strand of your hair can actually hold 100 grams of weight. Let me know what other weirdness you want me to look for. I got you.
Well. Man, you learn something new every day. In this instance, I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff today. Some of them weird, but some of them really, really, really amazing. The human body. God knew what he was doing and was cooking up, wasn't he?
Weird facts about the human body. The same size from the time that you were a baby, but your ears and your nose keep growing?
Did you notice that everyone in Asia seems to do something strange? People sit down in literally every possible place. Inside shopping malls, on buses, in the subway, or right in the middle of the sidewalk while scrolling on their phone. But the craziest part is that they do it like it's completely normal. And it's actually not random at all. It's called the Asian squat. In many countries, people grow up sitting exactly like this, which makes their hips and ankles extremely flexible. And the best part is that it's actually a natural resting position for the human body. Yet many people can't even hold this position for 30 seconds. Did you notice that everyone—
This man once threw his broken refrigerator into a well and waited to hear the sound of it hitting the bottom, but no sound ever came. So to measure its depth, he lowered an 80,000-foot rope into the well, even tying a candy at the end so that if there was water, it would melt. But still, he couldn't figure anything out. In the end, the government sealed off the place and gave the man some money. And even today, the mystery of that well remains unsolved. If you ever need to take fuel out of someone's car, just insert a small pipe into the tank and suck from the other end like a straw.
This is not information for y'all to go do anything stupid. There's not information for y'all go do anything stupid now. But I think we all knew this part anyways.
Gets close to your mouth, stop and place the pipe into a container. From there, the rest of the work will be taken care of by good old gravity. If you shot a bullet made of diamond, you might think it would go right through anything. After all, diamonds are one of the hardest things on earth. But what you don't know is that diamonds are actually brittle. If you apply a lot of force, they break easily, and the pressure inside the gun would be more than a diamond could take, so it would shatter inside the gun. If you're interested in this type of videos, then definitely stay connected with Universe Unlocked and follow this account.
And if you have to get a kidney transplant, they just leave your old kidney in there. It's easier and it saves time. Hey, you know when you cut your grass and it smells that grassy smell? That's your grass screaming. If you fire pew-pews near a hen house, the hens will lay bloody eggs. So there was this tree called the Tree of Teneri, and it was like the most isolated tree in the world for like over 300 years. It was located in the Sahara Desert, and there was no other tree around for like 250 miles, like in a radius, until somebody hit it and then knocked it over and it died. Back in the 1700s, foot tickling was a really, really big fetish. And there were professional feet ticklers, and aristocrats would...
Now we got professional cuddlers.
hire them to tickle their feet. Sometimes I would hire 6 of them at one time. If you consistently tickle a rat every single day, it'll just laugh at the sight of you, like your girlfriend and your mom. But if you really think about it, you could take a picture of like one of your mortal enemies and tickle a rat while holding the picture up, and then one day...
Wait, who successfully captured a rat and experimented on it to come up with this? And who the hell in their right mind is gonna go catch a rat to try this experiment? I hope none of y'all go try none of that.
Show that person to the rat, like in person, and then that person would be really confused because a rat would be laughing at them. If you have to get a kidney transplant, easier and it saves.
2 days before his death, he said this.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary.
That was David Wilcock, a paranormal author and Ancient Aliens contributor, known for claims about UFOs, hidden technology, and government cover-ups. In the video, he referenced a series of recent deaths and disappearances tied to researchers and scientists in space, energy, and defense fields that he and many others believed were connected. Just 2 days later, on April 20th, 2026, in Colorado, deputies responded to a crisis call. Authorities said Wilcock was found outside with a weapon and died shortly after police arrived. His death was officially ruled a suicide. In 2019, aboard the Disney Dream in the Atlantic Ocean, a 5-year-old girl climbed onto a porthole railing for a photo and fell nearly 50 feet into the ocean below. Her father jumped in after her seconds later, hitting the water hard before swimming to her and keeping her above the surface as the ship drifted on. With no flotation device and surrounded by open sea, they remained in the water until crew launched a rescue boat to pull them out. Both miraculously survived as the girl was treated for hypothermia, while her father suffered serious injuries including a fractured fractured spine from the impact with the water. 2 days before. Morbid Facts, Part 734. In October of 2003, a Las Vegas audience watched in horror as Roy Horn of the famed duo Siegfried and Roy was mauled on stage by his own 600-pound white tiger, Manticore. What began as a dazzling birthday performance suddenly turned grim when the animal clamped its jaws around Roy's neck and dragged him off stage, crushing his windpipe and leaving him moments from death. He miraculously survived, but the attack left him partially paralyzed, ending the duo's legendary Vegas run after more than a decade at the Mirage. Roy later claimed he had felt faint during the act and that the tiger was simply trying to protect him, but many believe it was a brutal reminder that even a lifetime of training can't tame a predator's instincts. Singer and model Taylor Moll lives with one of the rarest genetic conditions on Earth, chimerism. While still in the womb, she absorbed her fraternal twin, and today her body carries 2 sets of DNA, her own and that of her lost sibling. The most striking evidence runs straight down her torso, where a sharp line divides 2 different skin tones, one coded by her DNA, the other by her twins. Doctors say she effectively lives with 2 immune systems, making her more prone to health insensitivities and turning her body into a living reminder of the sibling who never survived.
Wow. Wow.
Morbid Facts, Part.
Did you know that humans can't feel wet? What do you mean by that? Your brain picks up wetness from other cues. Like, we don't have the sense receptors to feel if stuff is wet. So like if you sit down on like a cold chair, like with your skin making contact, like you could mistakenly think it's wet. That's crazy. So
We're all having this argument if water is wet already. Why bring up another one? Do y'all think that we perceive wetness or do we feel wetness?
we don't know what wet feels like. Do other animals feel wet? There's some animals that do. They have like humidity receptors where they're able to actually pick it up. One of those animals, fish. I wonder if they could feel dry. Did you know that humans can't feel
things that almost no humans can do? Part 14, and if you can, then you're bloody weird. This one requires very flexible fingers and only 3% of humans can actually do this. It's called the finger twist. Check this video if you can do it. Things that almost no humans can do.
Disturbing facts you need to know. There are only 2 days in your life that don't last 24 hours. The day you're born and the day you die. You can't read or see the time while dreaming. Blue is estimated to be the favorite color of psychopaths and people with mental issues. Your voice changes when you speak to a person you like. People are most honest at night. If you talk to yourself, you're making yourself smarter. If you want someone to fall in love with you, use the triangle method. It works really well.
What is that? I mean, I don't need to know. I don't need to know. Just for educational purposes only. And who's studying people that much? Well,
you can't kill yourself by holding your breath. Your butthole has taste buds, that's why it burns after eating spicy foods.
Fact. People, specifically men, would rather be painfully shocked by electricity than be left alone with their own thoughts for 15 minutes. In a study, scientists gathered for...
I can see why that can be true. What a man has to think about on a constant basis, and I'm not just talking about every individual here. I'm talking about biologically. As a man, there is so much going on in here. I'm telling y'all, man. What do y'all think so much violence and stuff happen in male prisons, man? It's not just because them brothers is unhappy. We're left alone with our thoughts. The utmost dangerous prison to be in. Woo!
42 volunteers, 18 men and 24 women. They then sat them in an empty room and hooked them up to an electric shock machine. Then they shocked them so they knew how much it hurt. And many of the participants rated the pain of the shock a 5 out of 10 on the pain scale. Then the scientists showed the participant where the button on the machine was to shock themselves, and then they left the room and closed the door, leaving...
And that's why they always say, you know, women live longer than men. It's not because we're stupid or we choose to do stupid shit. It's because we rather to be distracted than to sit down with our own thoughts. Trust me, ladies. It's worth doing than sitting down thinking about. Because if we don't do, we will... You've seen many bad examples. There's very good ones, but leaving a man alone with his thoughts or putting a man in a position to be alone with his thoughts, man, it can end in very, very negative ways.
The participant alone in the room with only their thoughts and the electric shock machine for 15 minutes. 12 out of the 18 men shocked themselves up to 4 times during the 15-minute period, but only 6 of the 24 women did the same. But one man gave himself 190 electric shocks in the 15-minute period, which is about 12 electric shocks a minute. Fun fact, people...
There's a type of ice that can actually catch fire and burn. It's called methane hydrate, sometimes known as fire ice. It forms deep under the ocean, where methane gas gets trapped inside frozen water crystals. At first glance, it looks like ordinary ice, but when exposed to air and a flame, it ignites, burning while slowly melting at the same time. Scientists have found massive deposits of it beneath the ocean floor, holding more energy than all known fossil fuels combined. But there's a problem. If too much methane escapes into the atmosphere, it could accelerate climate change at an unpredictable rate, which means beneath the surface of the ocean, there's a frozen substance that burns and could quietly shape the future of the planet. If you're not following Real But Weird, you'll probably never hear stories and discoveries like this again.
I just think stuff like that are amazing. What God has done and is doing is just amazing. He keeps us at a balance. Yes, the curious mind will make us do some stupid shit, but just not too much and not too little. Gotta love him, man. Gotta love him. My good people, so that's gonna do it for this one, man. We learned some weird and interesting facts in this one, man. Drop it down there in the comments, whatever moment stood out to y'all the most. But either way, I want to appreciate every single one of y'all who's been watching, who's new, and you. Hit that subscribe button, man. Until another video, you already know, like, share, and comment. And I get back in with y'all. Deuces.